Hello Matujima, and you're watching Hornbill TV's on live. At least 3 persons were killed and 30 others were injured in Manipur's Ukhrul district on Wednesday when two Naga villages clashed with each other over disputes surrounding their boundaries. According to locals, a Jawan of Manipur Rifles were among the dead. The injured were from both villages, Hyunpyun and Hyungpung. A few were rushed to the state capital Imphal for advanced treatment. A video circulating on social media showed a few youngsters firing shots. To discuss about this and to get more details on this, we'll be joined by our correspondent from Manipur, Mubasir. Hello Mubasir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Right, Mubasir, I've given the gist of the incident, but could you give us more details on this? How did this happen and when exactly, and how many were injured, and more details on this? Could you give us some intel on that as well?
The unfortunate incident happened yesterday, in the morning around, some annual, cleanliness drive was being conducted at this, Hunpung area by one Thawaizao Hunpung Youth Student Organization. It took a tragic turn when an altercation between the residents of Hunpung and Hunpun villages escalated into gunfire, resulting in fatalities and multiple injuries. And the report further said that, one more person succumbed to his injury today morning, who has been in, this Denim's hospital. But about this particular incident, the village level conflict and boundary level conflict are very common in many parts of the Manipur, not only in hill district but also in valley. Also, there are many boundary jurisdiction related conflicts. But what escalates the problem is the fact that the proliferation of these arms. Many people are roaming in Manipur with sophisticated arms and ammunition. So any sort of escalation or any sort of confrontation between two groups can turn extreme form of violence. So the people and the government need to understand, the Manipur becomes so much militarized in recent times that it becomes even a small incident like land related dispute between two clubs or between two localities can turn into this humongous level of violent incidents. But on the other hand, unfortunately, the furthermore report said that more than 21 arms and ammunition also looted from the Ukhrul police station yesterday after this district magistrate, even though the district magistrate declared curfew in the district and the high-ranking police officers declare that all the police stations are to be remain in this high alert. But even though things escalate and more, the reports say more than 21 arms and ammunition, sophisticated arms and ammunition are being from Ukhrul district. So the situation remains critical. In earlier time, whenever such conflict occurs between any two community or between any two localities, it normally resolved in traditional method by the agreement of both parties. But this time around, things become very difficult due to the fact that there is so much arms are being plotted. People are so much militarized. Highly sophisticated weapons are being used by the youth these days. So any confrontation can lead to extreme form. Yes, Atu, back to you.
According to the reports that we have, an Assam rifle was also killed in yesterday's clash, and two people from both the villages, people from both the villages were also lost their lives in yesterday's clash. So we would want to know about, was it the firing between the two villages, or how did Assam rifles come in, and how did it all turn out yesterday? More details on yesterday's incident, if you have any.
As far as how the particular incident happened, how this violent incident happened. When I talked to the local people, what they related to me was a cleanliness drive. It is an annual cleanliness drive. carried out on every October, 2nd October, was taking place at this Hunpung area. It started from one location called Buland Church to New District Hospital, Hunpung. The event aimed at, the local people said aimed at promoting civic responsibility and fostering community ties. However, suddenly, when some individuals from Hunpul, village reportedly opened fire on the Hunpung social workers. They were engaged in this cleanliness drive, and some, gunshots were shot. After that, the Hunpung volunteer also, they were also forced to, retreat, and they also, retaliate. The eyewitness claimed that the sophisticated, firearms were freely being used by both the youths of both the communities. The community level land dispute is a common feature mostly in many of the northern part of the India. Land feature between this. Every villages was under the control of say one chieftain, village chieftain, and another village chieftains have a different set of control over his own land, and the land dispute are a common feature in Manipur. But in earlier time, this land features oftentimes resolved in traditional manner. Right. But this time it's complicated. As far as about the state of the security personnel, what happened is when the thing started escalation, when this pickup trucks, when large number of youth, armed wielding youth, came in this pickup truck from different localities, and they joined the violence. It is a decade-old conflict. So there is a long history, which I don't want to go into because it is a local level dispute.
Right.
But what happened is when the dispute happened, and a large number of youth came over this pickup truck, and they joined the conflict. And open gun firing started. A large number of both central and state police forces were rushed to the spot, and they used different means to control the mob. However, they even used this pellet guns to disperse, and they used the tear gas shells. Tear gas shells were fired, rubber bullets were fired. A mob bomb, which is a common use in Manipur for the crowd control mechanism, were used. However, additional security forces were also rushed to the spot. However, it is a hilly terrain, and above it, said that it was not a normal kind of protester. People are using firearms, very openly and very freely, liberally, I must say. So when things escalated, in the crossfire, security personnel also get injured, and they also, become a victim. Yes, too.
So, Mubasir, the question here is, how did the volunteers there and also the youths got a hold of the sophisticated weapons that they were using? So, is there any reports on that as well? And like you have mentioned, a lot of sophisticated weapons were also caught. So, is there any updates on that as well?
It is a common knowledge in Manipur. It is a highly militarized region. As far as violence in Manipur that occurs since May last year, Ukhrul has been a very, very peaceful place because there is no much Naga and Kuki existence in Ukhrul. Naga, Pita and Kuki existence in Ukhrul. Mostly Ukhrul are dominated by Naga. So it is a relatively peaceful area. However, even though Ukhrul is a relatively peaceful area, fortunately, the arms and ammunition are Ukhrul is not an exception. Every district in Manipur is profiled. The arms and ammunition are reaching every nook and corner of the Manipur. It is a big question from where these arms and ammunition are being freely floated in Manipur. It is a very complex one. However, some of the reasons that we can easily see is many arms and ammunition are looted in Manipur since the start of violence in May last year from different police armories. There is one thing, and another thing is there is existence of a lot of, insurgent groups in Manipur. They freely brought this arms and ammunition from, even from Myanmar and also from other part of the country. Particularly since the start of this, Meitei Kuki conflict in Manipur, there is a lot of demand for this arms and ammunition. Both Meitei groups and Kuki groups, wanted to, stock up, piles of arms and ammunition. It was more of a, people who have, more arms and ammunition will have an upper hand on the other. So that is the notions that are being floated. So there is a huge demand of arms and ammunition in Manipur because of, people think that when you have, arms and ammunition, at least you will have, transport, self-defense. So there is a widespread use of arms and ammunition in Manipur. So central government and state government will need to look into it. Mass-scale combing operations need to be conducted. First and foremost thing should be, I think, to de-arm. Kind of confiscation of arms and ammunition should be the main priority, I think, for the both for the central government and state government. But still now, even when we talk to this security advisor, Mr. Kuldip Singh, he or even the army chief recently commented also, till now only 25% of the arms and ammunition which are looted from different police armories in Manipur has been recovered. Only 25%. So majority of arms and ammunition are with the people. So even common people, be it common people or militant groups, arms and ammunition are freely available in Manipur. So any local level, even a small local level confrontation can turn a very ugly turn, I must say. Earlier, such confrontation was a common thing in, far off places, in villages, in hill district, and in, remote part of the country. Such confrontations and such, land-related dispute is a common thing, and it traditionally, resolved with once the elders of the two communities sit together, then they have certain certain trust, and they resolve it locally, and there was no escalation. But once youths are once youth are so much militarized, and there is so much arms and ammunition being used, things got complicated. Earlier one there was conflict and it resolved because there was no death, there was no firing of there was no firing being reported. But right now, once another once one particular locality or one particular community started using arms and ammunition and firing and things like that, other community automatically will give befitting reply. That is what they call. So things get complicated. Even when Meitei Kuki conflict are going at such a extreme level, nobody expected that two Naga villages, tranquil Naga villages, will engage in such a bloody arms and ammunition, such a bloody conflict. But it happened. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh tweeted, and he gave out a message that all the dead and injured person will be given this ex gratia money, and he will give all the assistance to the families, and he will give. He will take every necessary step to resolve the crisis. It will, I think, it will ultimately settle down on its own also. But at the moment, the Ukhrul district is very tense. Curfew being declared, internet suspensions order yesterday. That is what it is.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Again, Mubasir, if we dive into the history, what we know is that this was a issue of border dispute about border. So, could you tell us more about the issues here? Was it the first time that such incidents happened? Was there any confrontations between both the villages in the past also, or is this the first time? Or just tell us more about the history as well.
Well, such confrontations, not confrontation at the dispute, boundary dispute, are a common thing. Boundary are not drawn with, mathematical precision in the first place. Secondly, the dispute is bound to happen because there are many villages and many each village or each locality one a separate at sometimes there is a dispute between two villages because of a playground which what community claim that it belongs to them, or in other times certain amount of certain area they claim that this one belongs to them and things like that. But normally it never happened, it never escalated to such level, such extreme level. In earlier times, such confrontations, whenever it happened for some few days and it resolved on its own without much bloodshed. But this time around, proliferation of this arms and ammunition. People are there is a lot of arms and ammunition being used by the common people itself. So things could easily escalate, unfortunately. But to your question, that is it the first time? No, it is not the first time. But it is the first time that such escalation on such scale happens. Such big escalation on such scale happen. It is the first time, but it is not the first time that such dispute happen. Dispute it is bound to happen, and it happened in many parts of the country also. Boundary-related dispute is a common thing between two communities or between two localities, even for two localities. The boundary jurisdictions are it is an imaginary jurisdiction in a sense that both the community or both the localities claim that particular area belongs to them. But in reality, the whole land belongs to Manipur itself. The whole land belongs to India. So, but there is a local level, local adjustment, and at the same time, people have many emotional issues. People have many, historical, cultural, and emotional related issues also. So it's turned into such, ugly incident yesterday. But fortunately, things will settle down, I think. It is not a big, that much of a big issue as, Maite Cookie kind of country. It is a conflict between the two localities, and it will settle on it down, I think. Yes, Atu.
Right, so Mubasir, as we know, internet has been shut down there, so is it still the same, and will there be any talks between the two parties? Will there be any talks between the two villages, civil society organizations, or anything as such? And also, let me just sum it up with one question: is there been any statement made by local MLAs? If you could answer all of that at one.
As far as local MLAs is concerned, the local MLA and this, MP, outer MP also comes from Ukhrul. They have just give out a simple, call for peaceful existence. That is what they have given. They just give out some, general call for peaceful coexistence. But the Chief Minister and Biren Singh himself declared that things are he is working to resolve the issue by I think negotiation might have already been started, and it will settle down with no issue about it. But boundary related issue is a common thing in Manipur, and but unfortunately they happened to such extreme level yesterday. Yes, Ato.
So what about the situation now, Mubasir, and what about the internet, since internet has been cut off? So is it back, or how long would it be? Is there any information on that as well?
Well, at the moment, internet is being cut off. Yes, my friends from Ukhrul mostly were going to other going to other state, going to other district and to use internet if they require for some urgent purposes. I talked to one of my friends also. She said that she has her work require internet connection. She is coming to Impal and accessing the internet here in Impal. So people are managing in like that. And particularly about this internet ban stuff that we so much hear from Manipur. Normally when internet ban related notification are issued, what government does is it issue for a 5-day period. After 5-day period, the assessment will be done, and then it will be the government will decide whether to continue for the internet ban, or it will be things like that. So at the moment, it is banned for 5 days, but hopefully things will resolve and it will be things will be soon back to normalcy. Yes, Atu.
Right. So Mubasir, before I sum this up, I just wanted to confirm this. So yesterday, when the clash happened, 3 people died and 30 were injured, and yesterday or today, unfortunately, another person succumbed to injuries. So that makes up to 4 deaths as of now when it comes to the clash. Am I right?
Yes. One more victim succumbed to injury today morning, and another person who is being kept at this Jennings hospital. I just talked to hospital people and said that even though his condition is normal, even though he is still fit and sound, but his condition was said to be critical. So another person the condition of another person is very critical at the moment. So far, 4 persons have died so far. Yes, I could back to you.
All right. So Mubasir, again coming up, let's end there. But coming to another news, that now that we have you online here, we'd want to know, according to sources, again to another news, 2 youths who were held hostage by armed village volunteers in Kangkokpi district were released and handed over to Kangkokpi district police 8 days after they were abducted. And also police said that the 2 Oinam Tongtoy Singh, as they have named, and TH Toitaba Singh are being escorted back to Imphal. So could you please give us more details on that as well? In another story,
well,
this is a totally different story,
well,
but since we have you now.
Well, Atu, that is one of the biggest news at the moment in Manipur. It is one of the positive news, I will say. People are taking it as a very positive news at the moment. These 2 youths, who were being held captive by some Kuki volunteers. They were being kept as a hostage for around 8 days. Actually, it was 3 people that went to this Kuki site, and they were held captive by this volunteer. But one person was already released much earlier. However, 2 other persons was being held in captive for a long time, for 8 days, and the negotiations were back and forth. Negotiations were going on between the state government and the concerned Kuki representatives. There was a secret negotiation being carried out. And ultimately, it paid results. At the moment, on what condition they were being released were not disclosed till now. But what I got till now is, 2 people, these 2 youth from Hornbill district have been released, and they were handed over to Imphal police station, which we call Imphal Thana. Right. They were currently in Imphal police stations, and they will be handed over to their respective guardians today itself by Imphal police station. This particular news is being taken as a very positive development in Manipur, because for the first time, there is some sort of agreement, and there is some sort of negotiation being carried out, and the 2 youths are being released unscathed. Yes, Atu.
Right. So Mubasir, again, were there any protests or such that was going on in Manipur as well? According to know, were there any protests as such for the release of these 2 abducted people?
No. At the moment, there is no protest. At the moment, people are being taking this as a positive news, because ultimately these 2 youths were being released. The parents were so much concerned. When 2 youths are being held captive for so long time, the parents, the relatives, and the entire community, all the people are being, making requests to the concerned authority that they should be allowed to release them. However, ultimately they were released, and it is being taken as a very positive news at the moment. Yes, Asif.
All right. Thank you so much, Mubasir, for joining me today. Thank you so much for all the information.
Thank you.
That was our correspondent Mubasir from Manipur giving us an update on 2 incidents. One is where yesterday on Wednesday, where a clash occurred between 2 villages, that would be Hyungpung and Hyungpung villages of Ukhrul district. There was a border issue, and according to the sources that we have, according to the information that we have, 3 people were killed yesterday in the clashes. The victims included from both the villages, but also Assam Rifle Jawan also lost his life in the clash yesterday, and according to the updates that we have, another person succumbed to injuries today. And according to what our correspondent has informed, the Chief Minister has gave his word. The Chief Minister gave his word to give ex-gratia to the people that has lost their lives, and also that talks are going on, negotiations are going on between the two parties. That's all the information that we have. Also, our correspondent gave us more details about how 2 youths who were held hostage by armed village volunteers in Kangkokpi districts were released and handed over to Kangkokpi district police, and the condition that they were released in. That updates are still going to come in, and we're going to be updating you all regarding both of the stories. So that's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.